Hey guys, how are you doing? So it's Crypto Insight UK here, bringing you back another YouTube video. In this video, I'm just going to quickly get into some TA, tell you some potential plays in the market. We're still chopping sideways, we're still ranging. I think we've just taken out that previous low that we wicked down to, the liquidation low. We're going to talk about that, talk about some potential plays that I can see happening in the market, and then a little bit of news to do with the Fed and Kazakhstan and Bitcoin hash rate. I'm going to keep it short and sweet, guys, because I think that I've been going a bit deep in the YouTube videos, but let's get into it. So, with our previous 1, 2, this is the third kind of drops that we've had in Bitcoin. What sort of structure have we seen? We've seen an initial liquidation event, so like a big candle like this. Obviously it starts up here, but this wick comes down to here, and then we set like a slightly lower low, and then we set higher low, and then we move out. That's what we saw in the first place. But we had a consolidation or a trend, a range of about 70 days during that time period. And then the second time we had an event like this is when so this was like obviously when Tesla came out, said they weren't going to be accepting Bitcoin anymore. The first time China banned Bitcoin as well. Then we accumulated. This is when China then actually no, it's not. This is our next liquidation event. We had this liquidation wick, a low, a higher low, and bang, out we come. Similar pattern, okay? And this is where Bitcoin miners were told to move out of China and the hash rate dropped, and that's when we had the second liquidation, okay? So something similar, in my opinion, is happening right now. We had this liquidation low. We've set a lower low. Will we have a fake out now, then set a higher low up here, and then look to move out from this zone? Again, we've been ranging here. We've had the news that Kazakhstan, which we're going to talk about in a minute, have basically had a power outage. They've having riots because they doubled the fuel prices overnight, made people very angry. They started rioting, so they switched the power off. That then got rid of all the 13.4% of hash rate for Bitcoin, and that made this price drop. So it's a very similar narrative to what happened in here, and also similar to what happened in here. Does it mean that it's going to play out the same? No, but that's a potential play I'm looking for. So it's the low, we set a lower low, then are we going to have a higher low and then a push out? That's what I'd be looking for if we are going to recover from this position. However, there's a lot of people in the market with mixed emotions on this, mixed thought processes, and I can understand why all of those things can come into play. If we take the narrative that Blockchain Backer has, he thinks that he's a very good technical analyst. He thinks that the top's in for Bitcoin, but he still thinks it's going to be a rally for altcoins. On this rally and on all markets, basically when we have a downtrend, we have a relief rally at least, and then we continue a further downtrend. So if this is flipped to a bearish market now, this downtrend that we're in now, we should still see a relief rally before we start to continue downwards, because nothing goes downwards in a straight line, just as nothing comes upwards in a straight line. As you can see, it's like this all the way up. Boom, 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 boom. Same on the way down. Boom. It's just, at the minute, it's basically just down. So then we'd have to come up a bit to come down further. That's basically the thought process behind it. If we break this low here, structurally, it's not great. But if we do something similar to what we had before, we've set the low, lower low, higher low, out we come. Set the low, lower low, higher low, out we come. That's what we'd be looking for here. That's what I'm personally looking for to compare to what has happened in the past. We need to reclaim the moving averages, and we need to reclaim this level here at 52,000, 53,000 to be more bullish. We really need to reclaim 59,000, but by the time we're back up there, it's too late for any kind of trade anyway, because you're basically at all-time highs and the percentages are gone. However, I wouldn't be, if it was me and the way that people have been asking me what I would do, I would be put in, if I cash on the side, I'd have put 30% in around at this time. I would put 20 to 30% in on a high bid in here, somewhere in this section, the 67, 68 cent section, just because I don't think we'll set as low a low just as low as we did at 50 cent. But we may wick down into that high 60s. You might get a bid filled in there. And then I would probably put 10% in for the last 40% every few days while we are in this consolidation / downtrend. That's the way I personally play the market. And that's all I've really got for you on the market today. Excuse me, sorry. Got no water left. But as you can see, we were in this broadening descending wedge. We broke out of it and we're currently sitting on the top. If we lose this, then we could come all the way down. If we extend this out here, you'd be looking all the way down here. We could really drop here, guys. We could lose, if we lose this 39,000 level, which I hope we don't, we could come all the way down to the 30,000, and in this sort of territory, we're in no man's land, guys, to start with. But you got to look at some positives. So the open interest on futures was really, really high. We obviously then saw this pressure downwards, which now means that we could see a short squeeze to take us back up, because the open interest on shorts has really increased since then. And that's normally the retail market who like to short when we are coming down. But the RSI is nearly oversold, so that is very positive for the market. Last time we were in this oversold sort of territory was in this corrective period down here, and then we pushed all the way back up. We did actually come into the oversold territory, so we've still got a little bit of space to go. So even if we compare to up here, we could have another secondary drop to come. If we do, it's not going to be very nice. I personally don't think we do, but that's just complete speculation on my part. I don't think this is going to capitulate too far. I doubt we'll come further than the 28,000 below, because I do think we'll see a retracement rally before we do start to head into those sort of areas. But in and around this sort of time period, if you do take this for an example of where the sort of position we are, we can really push up from this zone here. Excuse me, what's wrong with my voice? We can look at for 127% rise. Could we see that? I personally would say so, but my eyes are on XRP, as they have been for the whole time. We're getting closer and closer to the end of this lawsuit. We're closer now than we ever have been before, and that is undeniable, because we haven't yet had the lawsuit and we're only going forwards in time. So with all that being said, let's get on to a bit of the news. I don't know what's wrong with my voice. Excuse me. So, Federal Reserve, this is two reasons why I think that the Bitcoin price could have come down. Although I don't like to put narratives on things, I think the crypto market does actually follow the stock market in one way, but I also think that people try and apply narratives to things when maybe it's just natural market movements, and the crypto market is so young that a lot of things can affect it, but also it has its own movements as well. So the Federal Reserve puts wheels in motion for balance sheet reduction. I think that scared the market a little bit. Basically, the Fed was saying they're obviously going to be tapering, hopefully, in their opinion, raising interest rates. So that means obviously people will be a little bit more scared of assets and come out of assets and into cash. And then a secondary thing was obviously what happened in Kazakhstan that I talked about. The Bitcoin mining hash rate drops 13% as Kazakhstan shut off the internet, basically. So these two things, I think, did have some effect on the market, but the market was ready for another secondary drop anyway to find some liquidation. These drops are kind of bullish, because what they allow people to do is new people into the market can then buy at a price that's better value, can bring more money into the market, and also can liquidate a lot of those leveraged trade positions that I personally think there is some market manipulation from exchanges, and when they get over leveraged, people get over leveraged, they do try and push the market one way or another. We did see Binance buy like 42,000 Bitcoin, or big wallets on Binance buy that. So let's see what happens, guys. As always, eyes on. Keep your eyes on my other social medias, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram for more up-to-date updates. And I will see you on the next one. Thanks for tuning in. Peace up, A-Town down, as Usher would say.